Hello everyone, I am back with another video. In this video, I am going to talk about query folding in Power BI. This is one of the most important question in Power BI which is asked by the interviewer in the interview. So without wasting time, let's get started. So first of all, we need to understand what is query folding. Okay, query folding, as the name suggests, what it does, it folds the queries. Okay, folding means while retrieving data from different data sources, okay, we do some transformation. Okay, after retrieving the data, what we do the transformation, right? But query folding is something like it helps us to remove the additional step that we do after retrieving the data from the data sources. So how we can avoid such steps during retrieving the data? This is what the query folding. I know it's a little complex to understand, so what I'm going to do, I will give you one or two examples. Through that you will better understand what exactly query folding and how we can do that. Okay, so let's get started. So in order to understand query folding, I am going to give you one example with my SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, so you can see my SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, it is installed in my local machine, and you can see my server name is desktop something. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I am going to connect it. Once I click on connect, you can see that what database I have. So let me show you my database first. I have one database named practice, and in this practice database I have some table. So you can see one table, that is finance, which I am going to use to retrieve the data. Now let's jump into the Power BI, and then we will connect or retrieve the data from the data source, that is our SQL Server. So now you can see that I have opened a new Power BI desktop file. In order to connect with SQL Server, what we need to do, we need to click on get data. After clicking on get data, we need to click on SQL Server. Once I click on SQL Server, this new window will pop up. We need to fill the details. Number one, we need to put the server name. As I am going to use my local SQL Server which is installed in my machine, so I can easily put dot and it will connect with that. Now my database name is practice, which I have already shown you. So let me write practice here. Now click on OK. And this new window will pop up, and here you can see that the available table in that database is finance. So let me check in this table. Now we can see the preview of the data. Let's click on transform data. Now we are in our Power Query editor. Now what I am going to do, I am going to apply some steps here. Number one, what I want to do, I want to apply filter on this column name country. I want to select one country, let's say France. And after that, I want to apply filter on discount band. Let me select let's say high. Okay, so you saw that what I did, I applied two filter, first on country column and second is discount band. Okay, now you can see right side there is a pane called applied steps. You can easily see whatever transformation we do in Power Query editor, this Power Query editor actually adds a step in this pane. So my last step is filtered rows. You can see this last step, which is filtered rows. Okay, if I right click on it and click, there is an option named view native query. If I click on it, you can see that in this native query window, what Power Query editor does, it writes a SQL statement, and we can easily see the step which we applied, like we applied filter on country with France key, and on discount band we put the filter on high. So what it does, it basically change the transformation in SQL query. So what I'm going to do, I am going to press Ctrl A to select the complete SQL query, and then I am going to press Ctrl C to copy this SQL query, and now I am going to click on OK. And I don't want to load the data as of now in my Power BI desktop. I want to close this window, this Power Query editor. I don't want to load the data, so let me click on close. And I don't want to make any changes, so let me click on not now. So you can see I am again in my Power BI desktop screen. Now what I want to do, I want to connect my SQL server again, and this time I will use the SQL query which I copied from the native query view. So let me click on get data first. There is an option named SQL server. Let me click on it, and this window will pop up. Now for the server name, I'm going to put dot like we did earlier, and the database name would be practice. And one additional step I'm going to apply here, there is an option named advanced option. Let me click on it, and there is a small window where we can write the SQL statement. So the SQL statement which I copied from the Power Query editor, I am going to paste it here now, and I'm going to click on OK. Now there is an option named transform data. Let me click on it. Now again we are in our Power Query editor, but you can see some difference now. The difference is, if you see the column country, there is only one value, that is France. And if I come to the column discount band, you can see there is only one value, that is high. Why? Because we used the SQL query. So now we don't need to apply that step which we did earlier. So this is what the query folding does. Query folding is used to avoid the additional transformation step that we do after retrieving data from any data source. Okay, I repeat my word. What query folding is? Query folding is basically, it helps us to remove the additional steps or transformation steps that we do after retrieving the data from any data source. Now let's back to the PPT, where I will show you 2 to 3 points which will actually help you to understand what query folding is actually. So I am in my PPT now, and you can see that I have written a few points. The first point is, it is useful to optimize the data retrieving query. As we saw in our example, we were applying some steps, like we were filtering country column and we were filtering discount band, but we covered those transformation step at the time of retrieving data from the data source. So what it does, it actually optimize our query. Okay, and this is how what we did, we actually remove the additional rows also. Okay, so let me show you the another point. So the second point is basically it helps to increase the speed of query runtime. Okay, so again in our example what we did, we remove the additional number of rows, okay, that we actually don't need it. We only need the rows which has country France and discount band high. Okay, but earlier we were having additional country and additional discount band also. So what we did, we removed the additional rows. So as a result what it did, it helped to increase the speed of query runtime, right? So let me move to the next slide. So the last but not the least is it removes additional steps. So I think it's quite clear now that if we use the query folding, what it does, it removes the additional step. Okay, we don't need the other country rather than France, and we don't need the discount band rather than high. Okay, so we were applying some steps after retrieving the data, but we avoided it using the query folding. So as a result what it did, it removed additional steps. So when you give answer in the interview, okay, for the query folding, you can add these 3 points and you can give the same example also to the interview. If you do so, I'm sure that you are going to get 10 out of 10 in this question. So I hope that it's quite clear to you what query folding is, and thanks for watching my video. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Stay tuned, keep learning.